and we can move to the operational management topic number 9. Operation management, quality and project management. In previous syllabus we had another topic within this, that is location planning. That topic has been eliminated from your syllabus, but still we have to cover most of the other aspect in the operation management under this particular topic. Right. Operation management, quality and project management. So what are the areas we have to discuss under this topic? So first of all we will discuss operation management and competitive advantage topic. Then we will discuss new product design and innovation topic. Then production methods, quality control, total quality management, TQM, then Six Sigma, then project management techniques. Actually so we try to discuss about product development, that is one main area, then production method, then under the quality actually we discuss about this TQM and the Six Sigma, then the project management. Actually three main areas are there, right? Right. So we will look at about introduction first. What is operation management? So operation management is the activity in the value chain that is concerned with making the product or providing the service in the case of service business. What is operation management? Actually this is the manufacturing function of the organizations. So this is the manufacturing function. In there the product will be made or service will be provided. So we know that within an organization there is a conversion process take place. Within an organization a conversion process take place. Input is converted into a output, right? We normally use raw material as input, then we have a conversion process, then we are going to have good and services, right? So here this in the conversion process we use machinery, right, and we get the help of labor, right, and ultimately we make the final goods. So in the production function actually we are going to looking about this manufacturing process take place. We are looking about manufacturing process take place within the organizations, right. Under the operations, right, we focus on this particular area, right. Then if we look at about the operation management help to obtain competitive advantage in following ways. So what are the ways which help you to get a competitive advantage? One is sell more product to earn more revenue and margin. That is one way, right? How it help you to sell more unit? For example, by developing new products. So operation management help you to make new product. That new product help you to sell more unit to the customers. Then another way it help is sell product at a higher price. Operation management help you to sell product at a higher price. For example, you can make differentiated product, so which can't be found from other place in the marketplace. Customers are willing to pay a price premium to buy differentiated products. Then another way is cutting operating cost. For example, you can select low cost locations, so that will help you to cut the operating cost, that ultimately help you to increase the profit of the organizations, right. Then topic number 2, under topic number 2 we are going to discuss about new product design and innovations. So new product and design and innovations, right. So value is created by new product because when they have been developed and when they are marketed, they add to sales revenue and profit margin. True story, So what organization can do by introducing new product to the marketplace, so they can enjoy more sales revenue and the profit. So innovation can be a major source of competitive advantage. Companies that develop new product can for a time offer something to customer that competitors cannot offer. Innovation can be used as a competitive advantage to the organizations. So organizations like Apple, Amazon, these organizations dominate the world market now. So they all get a competitive advantage thanks to innovations. If you look at about the recent years, development in technology have speed up the process of product innovation in many industries. For example, Microsoft Office software. Right. So this is very important topic, how product innovation can be a major source of competitive advantage to the organizations. How product innovation can be a major source of competitive advantage. How it can provide advantage to the organizations. Right. There are a few points. This has been tested in the exam also. Look at the first point. For a time, there may be no direct competitors for a new product, and a company has time to establish a market and attract customers. When you introduce a new product, there are no competitors for a time. So it will take some time for competitors to make a similar products. Until competitors make a similar product, you can enjoy the sales income. So that will give an advantage to the organizations. Then the second one, when a company introduces a successful new product before its competitors, it may also benefit from a learning curve effect. So you may have learning curve effect in economics. So when you are the first comer to particular marketplace, so you learn the things quickly than others. So learning curve effect will help you to get some cost savings to the organizations, right? So this learning curve effect mainly attached with the labor. So when you are newcomer to a particular market, your employee learn the things quickly than others. When others enter late, their employee take a similar time to learn the things, but you have an advantage since you have started the activity before others. I am sure that you have learned this learning curve effect, right. So initially it takes time to get some advantage, right. You have a similar level learning, but what happen, it help you to capture the things very quickly with the time. Then again you have a similar stuff like that, then again you can get some learning, this continue, this continue with the time. So when you have entered to a market first, actually, right, you are in a position to get the learning curve effect before others. That's the advantage you will have. Then the third advantage is legal protections. Legal protection such as patent for intellectual property may bring important revenue advantage. So when you have innovate new things, you can get the required legal protection for that. For example, you can get the patent right on the products, then others can't make a similar products. Then there are some problem with innovative products also. What are the problem with innovative products? One is gaining regulatory approval where required. It's not easy to get the required approval from the relevant authorities. You have to prove lot of things, right? You have to prove lot of things. For example, right, so there are certain things you have to comply, you have to file that one, then not easy in certain countries, they are not going to give the approval very easily, right. So especially in country like Sri Lanka, I think right, it's not easy, right. I hope that with this COVID-19, this process will be right simplified side, then people can make innovation very easily. Then another one is uncertainty about sales demand. So in relation to innovative products, right, we don't have a ready-made market. So you have to launch the product and identify about the customer demand. So sometime there may be demand, sometime there may not be demand. No? Therefore, there is uncertainty about the sales demand. Then to make innovation, you have to spend a lot of money on research and development. So high level of research and development cost. Then there is a table, this was in the previous syllabus also, but this was not tested. This is only for information purpose, we can discuss this. So innovation strategies depending on the nature of technological change and change in the markets. Now here we try to identify different innovative strategies based on the level of the technological change and the change in the market. So we consider two aspects. One is technological change in relation to the products, then other aspect is the market. In relation to the product technological change, we identify three options. No technological change, that the first option, that means the same product is offered as it is. Then another second option is improve technology, so we improve the technology used with the product. Third option is new technology, you come up with a new technology with the products. Then in relation to the market, we identify three options. Market unchanged, that means you are in the existing market as it is. Then growth in existing market, still you are in the existing market, you achieve some growth in the existing marketplace. Actually first and second option both cover the existing market, and first option actually no change in the demand, but second option there is a growth in the demand in the existing marketplace. Then the third one is new market, new markets. Then if the market change as it is, no technical change, there is no requirement by any innovation strategy. No. Then look at the next one, product technology has been improved and offered to the existing market as it is, that is called reformulation strategy. Reformulation, you offer improved product to existing customer base. Then next option, replacement. In there you offer to the existing customers the product that use a new technology. So old technology is replaced with the new technology. For example, black and white TV is replaced by color TV, same customer group is covered. Then the growth in existing market. So no first option, no technical change, but there is a growth in existing market, that is called re-merchandising. For example, you try to sell the product in a new way. One of the way you can do this one through the new packaging. You come up with a more attractive packaging that help you to get more demand for the existing products. Then improved products, in there what you do is you introduce improved technology product to the existing customer base. As a result of the improved product, demand for the customers is also increased. Then product line extension, in there a product is added to the existing product line to increase total sales. So you come up with a new technology product and introduce that one to the existing markets. For example, we will say if you look at the TV, there are different type of TVs nowadays, LCD, LED, color TV, right. So those are example for product line extension. You added some new technology product to the existing product line. Then no new use, in there is no change in the product, but you try to capture new market for the products. How you are going to do that one? By finding a new use for the existing product, new customers are found. For example, no soups, they try to find new customer base for no soup. They say use no soup with dal curry. So you found a new market for your existing products. Then market extensions, new customers sought on the strength of the product improvements. You have done some improvement to the technology in the product. Through that, you try to cover new customer base. In the last one, the diversification, the product technology is new, at the same time your market is also new. That is normally a risky strategy. For example, Google car, so it's a completely new technology for them. Their market is also completely new. Diversification strategy. Right, then we are moving to a very important topic, stages in the process of new product development. Stages in the process of new product development. So we can identify 8 stages in relation to process of new product development. So what we will do is we will go through these stages one by one. Right. So normally in one particular stage, if you feel that it's not worth to continue at that particular point, that product development stage maybe stops, right? Because at each stage the cost will be incurred. If you go further, so in each stage cost will be incurred. To avoid that one, so if it is not worth, we will stop at a particular stage. So what is the starting point of this? Idea generation is the starting point of new product development. So first of all, you are trying to get ideas from different group about new product, right? For example, you can use employee to get idea about the new products. There are some organization, they use this. For example, 3M, they ask employee to allocate 15% of their time to think about new ideas. Not only that, you can get ideas from customers. For example, right, Toyota use different methodology. They use children to get new product ideas. They think children are very creative. They have dream car competition for that purpose. There are a lot of sources you can use to get new ideas. So after getting the new ideas, what is the second stage? Idea screening. Here you are going to screen the idea you have received to identify the good ideas. Organizations use different methodology for this. For example, some organizations have steering committees. So the steering committee evaluate the ideas received from different group, then they identify the good ideas. Right. Here the objective is to drop the poor ideas early as possible. Right. If you go forward with a poor idea, then it will be a cost to the organizations. To avoid that, right, here you screen and identify the best ideas. Then the steps number 3. What is step number 3? Concept development and testing. That is step number 3. So here the product concept is developed in more detail, and this concept is tested on a small group of prospective customer to see how they react to it. Here actually there is no physical product take place. What you do is you develop the concept only, right? For example, nowadays you can use computer for this particular purpose. Think about new car, for example. Within the computer you can draw the car. Then what you can do is you can show this product to the potential customer group, and you get ideas from them. Accordingly you make the adjustment on this. Then steps number 4, business analysis. So in here we carry out a financial analysis in relation to the products. For example, suppose a product lasts for 5-year period. For 5-year period we look at about the sales, then we look at the cost, then we can calculate the NPV value. If NPV is positive, then we can go to the next stage. If NPV is negative, then you have to stop at this particular stage, since it's not profitable to carry out the process further. Then step number 5, beta testing and market testing. There are 2 steps actually here. What is beta testing? Here we produce a physical prototype of the products. So we produce a early model of the products, right? Early model of the products. Then we arrange private testing with a test group of customers. So here we physically produce small number of unit, then we offer that product to a potential customer group, then we ask them to use the product and give their ideas. That is called beta testing. In many large organizations, internally they have some lab to carry out the beta testing. So customers come there, can come to the organization and test the product. Accordingly, they will give their comments on the products. So based on the comment received from the customers, we'll make the adjustment to the product design. Then what we'll do is we are moving to this market testing. Here what happened, we'll produce a small quantity of the amended product to test by selling in a small market area. So here we identify a small market from the total market we are planning to cover. Then within that selected marketplace, we launch the products, right? We launch the product. Based on the result we receive, we can move to the next stage. If that selected marketplace accept our product, then we can take a decision to go to the mass market. But here it's very important to identify a more representative marketplace from the total market. If you have wrongly identified the selected marketplace, then what can happen? So the idea given from the selected marketplace will not be the correct one. Then if you launch with that idea in the mass market, sometime it may not be a good option for you. Then step number 6, technical implementations. Under step number 6, technical implementations, what we will do, we will plan and establish the arrangement for production and logistic arrangement for distribution of the product. So here we will get the required production facilities, we will do the required distribution arrangement also. For example, here we buy the required machinery to produce the goods. Then number 7, launch the product on the markets. So what will do, so you will launch the product in the total market here. So normally since the product is new to the marketplace, so you have to spend a lot of money to give the awareness about the new product to the customers. That's why you want to spend heavily on advertising to give the awareness about the new products. Then step number 8, post launch review. So here you will review the product after the market launch. So here we will review the selling price and adjust this if can increase or reduction in price seem appropriate. If you think that right selling price is little bit high, then you will make a reduction on that. So with that we can complete stages in product development process. If you want to know more on this, please read Philip Kotler's Principle of Marketing book. India, you can identify the same process in details. Remember here I am trying to cover whole syllabus within 20 hours, right? But in practice as a lecturer I have to spend at least 200 hours on this. So this is a summary discussion. Therefore, you have to do your own right study, right, on the whole syllabus. You should have a plan on that. Not only coverage, then you should have some hours allocations for doing past paper questions, then do some similar exam question like ACC SEMA. That also important since this new paper is right identifying the strategic level. The requirement in the previous syllabus may be different from the new syllabus. Here more analytical skill is required. Right. With that, I am moving to the next, research and development. Research and development. So, what is research and development? Normally we know these are two stages which are connected with each other. So, first of all, research take place. After the research, development take place. Right. If you look at about them, we can identify 3 types: pure, applied and development. Actually, pure and applied are 2 types of research. So after that we can do the development work. Right. So this pure research is identified as basic research also. The objective of pure research is to expand the knowledge. Pure research is carried out to find new knowledge. For example, academic research conducted, right, come under the pure research. In there, the objective is to find new knowledge. What is applied research? Under the applied research, we try to find a solution for a problems. Under applied research, we try to find a solution for a problems. For example, fall in sales demand, we try to identify a reason for that. Another example is these days many people try to find medicine for COVID-19 virus. So the research conducted by organization to find medicine for COVID-19 is an example for applied research. Then you know what is development. So the research finding will be used to make a new product under development stage. If you look at about the organizations, research can be carried out on two main areas. One is product, other one is process. So it can be product or process research. What is product research? The objective of product research is to create new product and developing existing one. So product research may be focusing on two areas. One area is to create new product, other one is to develop the existing products. Then what is process research? Process research is based on improving the way or efficiency with which those products or services are made or delivered. Here the objective is to make improvement to the process. Right? For example, let's say manufacturing process. So we conduct a research to make some improvement to the manufacturing work. Right. Then we can move to the next topic, topic number 3, production methods. Production methods. If we look at about the production methods, we can identify 3 type of production methods: job manufacturing, batch manufacturing, and flow or chain manufacturing. Right. What is job manufacturing? First one is job manufacturing. Under job manufacturing, a single product or a single job is performed to the specification of the customer. So here, according to customer requirement, we are going to make a unique product. For an example, in classical craft productions, so early days in each village we had a Vadu Mama, no? So Vadu Mama, so what he did, so when you go and meet him, right, you tell what is the requirement of you. We'll say, for example, chair, you want to make a chair or bed. So you say what is the size of the bed you need. Then accordingly, Vadu Mama make it for you. Right? There is an example, classical craft productions. There is construction work. Now think about your house. You give the specification to the mason, right? Accordingly, he make the house for you. No, that's an example for job manufacturing. According to customer specification, product was made. Right. Then the second one is batch manufacturing. What is batch manufacturing? So here, manufacturing process produce a quantity or batch of an item, and every item in the batch is the same. So here, not single unit, we made a batch of an items. If you compare each item, there is no difference, same. For example, printers, then bakery items, biscuits for example, another example. Right. So, if you look at the biscuit, actually they make so many items at a particular times, no. So, that is called batch actually. Then chain or flow manufacturing, third one is chain or flow manufacturing. What is chain or flow manufacturing? So, this normally cover either mass production of a standard item or a continuous production process for a high volume items. So, mass production mean if you are producing a particular product in mass scale, as an example for mass productions. For example, newspapers. Think about Lankadweep newspaper. They may print thousands of newspapers at a particular time. No, that's an example for mass production that come under the flow manufacturing. Oh, another form of this one is continuous production process. There are certain production work that take place on a continuous basis, 365-day, 24-hour operations. This is very common with high volume items. For example, oil and gas that normally operate in 365 days. Another example is this Norocholi. You remember what when I say Norocholi, no? You know what is there. Right? It normally operate for 365 days, no? Right? Right. Then lean manufacturing. So, important concept lean manufacturing. This was tested in July 2015 paper in the previous syllabus. After that, this was not tested. So, what is lean manufacturing? So lean manufacturing is an approach to manufacturing that seeks to eliminate all non-value adding activities. That is called waste actually. Non-value adding activities normally called as waste. So, under lean manufacturing, what we are trying to do? We try to eliminate the non-value adding activities. Here the focus is to eliminate non-value adding activities. So, this is not another production method. This is a philosophy used in the manufacturing. So, this can be applied in any manufacturing method we use, since this is a philosophy used in manufacturing. In organization, we know that there are so many waste sources. For example, inventory is an example for waste. Under this lean manufacturing concept, we try to eliminate those waste, since those activities are not adding any value to the organizations. Actually, lean manufacturing started with the Toyota. Initially, just-in-time inventory management system used by the Toyota was identified as lean manufacturing, but then later this concept was broadly identified not only with the inventory. For we identify any action taken to reduce non-value adding activities as lean manufacturing later. Right. So, therefore, in addition to inventory waste reduction, we can identify any type of waste reductions as a application of lean concept in the organizations. So, what is the aim of lean manufacturing? So, first one is to increase value. That is the first objective. You want to get more value. Then the second one is minimize the amount of resources used in manufacturing operations. So, we want to get more output from less input. Then what are the principles of lean manufacturing? There are a lot of principles used under the lean manufacturing, but if you go to the original work, in the original work, Womack and Jones have identified 5 principles associated with the lean manufacturing. What are the 5 principles? First principle is specify value, second one value stream, third one flow, fourth one full, fifth one perfection. So, we will look at about each principles. First one is specify value. What is specify value? So, it defines what create value from the customer perspective. So, organization want to identify what are the activities they want to have to give the value to the customer. It's very important to define the value from a customer point of view. So, you have to identify what are the real need of the customer. Then internally you should have processes to deliver exact customer requirement. So, openly organization do mistake here. So, what they do is they internally define what is expected by the customer without looking at the real need of the customer. So, when you offer such good, what happen? So, customers' needs are not properly matched. As a result, customer will not accept such good and they will reject it. Therefore, carefully you want to identify the real customer requirement. Accordingly, you have to design the product which deliver the exact need of the customer. Then value stream. What is value stream? These are the activities in the production process which create the value that customers want. So, here we identify what are the activities you want to have within the production process that can be used to create the value to the customer. For example, so manufacturing work, right. So, within the manufacturing work you can identify different small activities required to give the value to the customer. In simple terms, actually here we identify the different activities in the production process as value streams. Then the flow. Now, what is flow? Flow mean the activities within the organization should take place without any interruptions. There should not be interruptions. Activities should take place on a continuous basis within the organization. For example, you should avoid bottlenecks. You know what is bottlenecks? In a particular place, if the process is not happening in efficient manner, we call it as bottlenecks. No. For example, in a production process, there may be one employee involved in the production process. He is inefficient. He take more time compared with the other people in the production process. So, what happen? So, until he finish the work, others have to wait. No, you should avoid such things. So, you should ensure production process take place without any interruptions. Then the fourth principle is full. What is full principles? The producer should only make what is valued by the customer and make it just in time to satisfy customer demand. So, here we use pull ordering system, not push ordering systems. So, here there is no inventory created. Why? We want to make good if there is only demand from the customers. Based on the customer request only we are going to make the goods. Therefore, just in time inventory management system is applied. So, there is no opportunity to have inventories here. Since we make just in time to satisfy the customer demand. When customer need the good, we produce and give it to the customer. There is no time lag between completion of the production and the customer demand point, right. Then next one is perfections. Under the perfection, here we try to achieve zero defect scenario by making continuous improvements. Under perfections, so we try to strive for perfections by constantly removing layers of waste and by removing delays and discontinuities in the supply chain and manufacturing process. We identify where the waste is occurring and we try to eliminate that one on continuous basis, and ultimate objective of this is to achieve the zero defect scenario. So, with that we can complete the production method topic and we can move to the quality control topic number 4, quality control. Right. So, first of all we will try to identify what is quality. In simple term one can say quality refers to conformance to a standard. What is conformance to a standard? That means meeting the expected level, right. So, for example, right, if you purchase a particular product, within your mind there is an expectation you want to fulfill from the product. If your expectations are fully met from the product, then you say product is having the required quality. If your expectations are not met, then you say product is not having the expected quality, right. In technical usage, so what is the meaning of quality? In technical usage, quality can have two meanings. What are the two meanings? The first one is the characteristic of a product or service that bear on its ability to satisfy stated or implied need. So, here we look at about the ability of product characteristic to meet the customer need. Customer need can be stated mean customer has expressed he need those things. Implied mean not stated, but right, indirectly organism want to catch that වියන්ගෙන් කියන එක. So, that is one element you are looking about, whether the product characteristic is able to meet the customer need. Then the second one is a product or service should be free of deficiencies. If the product is not having any issue, right, then we can say that has the required quality levels. Two aspects actually. One is we look at about inside of the product, whether the product characteristic meet the customer expectation. The second point is after you have made the product, we check whether product is operating as expected without any defects. Then we are moving to approaches to quality. Approaches to quality. Under the approaches to quality, we can discuss two approaches to quality, traditional approach to quality and the alternative approach to quality. So, first of all, we look at about the traditional approach to quality. In the traditional approach to quality, so traditionally quality in manufacturing was seen as a requirement to identify defective item in the production process. That is the first thing you expected. Traditionally, quality mean with the manufacturing process there should be a requirement to identify the defective items. There should be a mechanism to identify the defective item. Then what you have to do? And next thing you can do is either correct the defective item by reworking them. If there is a chance to correct the defective item, then you can correct the defective item by reworking them. Then the second thing is, if you can't correct the defective item by reworking, then what is the next option? Get rid of the defective item as scrap. Or possibly by selling them as substandard item. එහෙම නැත්නම් අඩු ගුණාත්මක යුතු භාණ්ඩයක් විදිහට අපිට මේක විකුණන්න පුළුවන්. For example, you know that sometime government have bulk sales, no? They say 50% discount. Some of the items which have been rejected from the quality control procedures are so often sold as right discount items, no? That's an example, substandard items, right? And it's very clear for you, right? Here actually quality traditionally what we expect, there should be a mechanism to identify the defective item within the organization, then you have to correct the defective item or get rid of them. Then in relation to quality, we can identify two quality cost element, right? Within that two quality cost element, we can identify four quality cost element, right? What are the two quality cost elements? So we look at about the two quality cost element. conformance cost. Then the other one is non-conformance cost. Non-conformance cost. Anukulata piriwaya sa anukulata novana piriwaya. Within the conformance cost, we can identify two elements: prevention cost. Then other one is appraisal cost. Then under non-component cost, we can identify two items: internal failure cost, then the other one is external failure cost. Right. Here the component cost mean to meet the standard requirement, the cost incurred. We have a expectation regarding the quality. To ensure that particular quality level, the cost incurred we identify as a component cost. Here non-component cost mean cost occurred due to failure of meeting the standard. Already the quality problem has arisen, right? As a result of that one, there are two type of cost element: internal failure cost and the external failure cost. So we will look at about all four elements. First of all, we will look at about the prevention cost. What is prevention cost? So prevention cost mean arrangement to prevent defective item or reduce the number of defectives. These are arrangement to prevent defective item or reduce the number of defective. These are more proactive approach. Here the objective is to prevent defective item or reduce the number of defective. What are the example? For example, employee training given. What is the objective employee training given? To ensure employees have the required skills to perform their work. So that will help them to make less mistakes, no, right? Then the second one is inspection and testing cost. Here I use the appraisal cost, same thing, right? Inspection and testing cost. So what is this? Cost of inspecting and testing output to identify defective item or batches. For example, employee supervisions. So employee supervision example, inspection and testing cost. Or laboratory test. There may be a laboratory cost associated with testing the finished good items that come under this. Here objective is to identify the defective item while production is taken place. This is more attached with the production process, right. Then internal failure cost. That's the first one which come under the non-component cost. What is internal failure cost? Cost of correcting defective item that are found by inspection and testing. So internal failure costs mean cost of correcting defective item that are found by inspection and testing. Costs incurred to correct the defective item which are found from the inspection and testing. For example, reworking cost. If there is an issue with a particular product, you have to spend some time to correct that particular issue. That cost come under the internal failure cost. Then external failure cost. What is external failure cost? Cost of dealing with complaint from customers about defective items. Cost of dealing with complaint from customers about defective items. These are the most dangerous costs. Why? This happen after you have sold the good to the customers, right? Cost incur with dealing with the complaint from the customers. For example, goodwill loss. Another example is warranty and guarantee cost. If there are some defects, you have to replace the good to the customer. No, that's come under external failure cost. Then alternative quality control system. What is the alternative quality control system? Since inspection cost and cost of correcting errors do not add value, they should be avoided entirely. Here the belief is, right, you have to avoid quality costs totally. That is the belief you are having here, right. Here the objective is to achieve zero defects in production. If you are going to have zero defect, then we do not want to talk about quality problems, no. Here the objective is to have zero defects in production. So normally zero defects can be achieved in lean manufacturing and the TQM. Normally the objective of lean manufacturing is to have zero defects, zero waste. Similar expectation can be found with the TQM technique also. So next thing we are going to discuss is about the TQM. TQM. What is TQM? Total quality management. Total quality management. The first thing you want to know about TQM is this is a philosophy of quality management. So when it is identified as a philosophy, right, so this can be used in anywhere in the organizations. If you look at about this TQM, actually in simple term there are two things we are trying to achieve here, right. By having a culture of continuous improvement, right, we are trying to achieve the zero defects scenario at last. That is the expectation of TQM. Under TQM, so we want to have a continuous improvement culture within the organization. By making continuous improvement, finally we want to achieve the zero defect situations. That is the objective of TQM. And TQM actually, so here we identify quality as the driving factor whatever we do. So that should come from the top management. Top management will have the philosophy of using quality as a driving factor. When top management is having a philosophy of identifying quality as a number one, then the middle management also will identify the same, then low level management, then finally other employee will also have the similar philosophy. So in relation to quality, we can identify some of the person who have contributed on quality. There are some person like Deming, Crosby and Juran. There are three quality gurus we have to discuss. These three person have highly contributed on the quality, right. So first of all we will discuss about the Deming. Deming is normally identified as right one of the main contributor on quality. Actually he born in USA. Initially he contributed to the USA, but later he went to Japan and did lot of right quality improvement in Japan. In Japan he is identified as the quality guru. Then you can get an idea about him, right. So what are the ideas of him? So we look at about the ideas presented by Demings in relation to the quality. So what is the first principle presented by Deming? A business should continually seek to improve its product and services, right. A business organization should continually seek to improve its product and service. A very simple principle, no. So what organization want to do? They want to improve their product and service on a continuous basis. Number two principle, what is the number two principle? Eliminate all waste, eliminate defective productions. So you want to eliminate the waste associated with the organizations. Third one, do not rely on inspection procedures to achieve quality. Inspection use resources without creating value. Don't rely only on the inspection procedure to achieve quality, right? Why? It normally use resources. Then the fourth one, when selecting suppliers, price should not be the only considerations. Quality and reliability of supply are also important. So when you are going to select suppliers, you have to not only consider price, you have to look at about the quality and the reliability of supply also. Then principle number 5, improve production system. This reduce waste and improve quality. On continuous basis, you have to improve the production system. Number 6, train employees so that they become better at doing their job. You have to train employees on continuous basis, that will help them to do their function properly. Then we look at about the Crosby also. Crosby is known mainly for two concepts in TQM. What are the two concepts introduced by the Crosby? First one is zero defect, second one is get it right the first time. So first of all, we look at about the zero defect principles. What is zero defects? There should never be any defects in a products, although this may seem an impossible ideal in practice. The aim nevertheless should be to eliminate all defects and achieve 100% quality. A very simple principle. Say when you are making product, you want to ensure the zero defects. A very difficult target, but objective should be to achieve the zero defect scenario. Then the number 2 principle. What is number 2 principle? Get it right the first time. Get it right the first time. What is that? A product should not have to be corrected once it has been made. When you are producing a particular product, there should not be any defects. Correctly should be made in the first time. So this principle consistent with the idea of zero defects, no? So you are trying to get the product right in the first time. When you are trying to do that one, automatically what will happen? There will be no defects, no? These two are connected to each other. Right. Then we'll move to Juran. So what are the ideas of the Juran? So we look at the first point. The best approach to enhancing quality is to identify specific opportunities, evaluate their viability by using conventional methods such as return on investment, plan the selected project carefully, monitor the result. So what he say? He say best approach to enhancing quality is to identify specific opportunities. To enhance the quality, what the first thing you want to do? You want to identify specific opportunities. That means you want to identify areas where opportunity is available to improve the quality. For example, we'll say there's a production process where when you make 100 unit, we'll say there are 10 defects to item. That's an area for improvement. Right, identify specific opportunities. What is the second things? Evaluate their viability by using conventional methods such as return on investment. Then the second thing what you do is you have to evaluate their viability by using conventional methods such as return on investment. So you have to check whether this is feasible to make the improvement, right? For example, say to reduce that 10 defective item, so you want to replace with a new machine. Suppose the return you get from the cost savings by reducing the 10 units will say 1000 rupees, but machine cost will say 10,000 rupees. That is not worth, no, to go for that particular investment, no, right? Then suppose it is worth, say you will say cost saving is 1000, cost you want to invest to get that saving is suppose 100 rupees. That's worse, no, 900 benefit, no. So in that scenario, you can go to the next thing, plan the selected project carefully. Then you have to identify a project to carry out the quality improvements. Then when you are doing the project to improve the quality, you have to monitor the result obtained from that also. You have to check whether the expected result has been occur after you have made the improvements. Then Duran defined quality as fitness for use. I say quality simply mean fitness for use, which include two elements. What are the two elements which include? First one, quality of design. What is the meaning of quality of design? Which can include the customer satisfaction built into the products. That means when you are designing the product, you want to ensure customer requirement are properly met, right? So, from the features of the product, customer expectation are delivered. That is ensured through the quality of design part. Then the second one is quality of conformance. In other words, lack of defects in the finished good. That talk about the physical item. The physical item should not have any defects. Quality of design looking about the features of the product. The second thing, quality of conformance, look at about the actual product made. That actual product should not have any defective items. Actually, this is in line with the quality definition we have given at the beginning. Right, if you remember the quality definition, right, we have given the first one is characteristic of product or service, second one a product or service free of deficiencies. This definition actually match with the teaching of Juran regarding the quality. Right. Right. Then we can look at about the TQM techniques. These are the techniques we can apply to use TQM in practice. There are 5 TQM techniques: Kaizen, 5S, Six Sigma, quality circle, then statistic quality control techniques. Within your syllabus, actually we want to discuss about only the first 3. No need to discuss about the quality circle and the statistical quality control technique. That is out of your syllabus. Right. But I will define what is quality circle. What is quality circle? Quality circle refers to a group of employees in same business unit who meet regularly to consider ways of resolving problem and improving production in their organizations. So, on the quality circle, right, they are in their a group of employees from the same business unit, for example, finance department. They regularly meet and discuss the quality problem they have faced, come up with some solution to eliminate those problems, and right, they check the progress on that from time to time. This happens in many organizations. They have small quality circles. For example, once in 2 weeks, on Friday at 3 o'clock they meet, discuss some of the problem they face, then they identify the alternative action to solve that. Then after some time they check whether the problem is actually solved. But I am not going to discuss about statistical quality control techniques. So, I am moving to first one, Kaizen. So, what is Kaizen? In Japan, Sen mean good, Kai mean change. If you try to convert that one, we can say good change, right. So, if I go for more formal definition, what is Kaizen? Kaizen mean continuous improvement, right. Kaizen mean continuous improvement. So, it is a philosophy that seek additional small improvement continuously. Here the objective is to introduce small improvement on continuous basis. Here we believe that there is no end in achieving the improvement. Therefore, we try to introduce small changes on continuous basis. What happened? These small changes, right, in long run will be a major change. This is a very easy approach. Why? In organization we know that there are two ways of implementing change. What are the two ways of implementing change? One is minor change. One is minor change. Other one is major change. Normally minor change will face less resistance from employees, but normally major change will face more resistance from the employees. Therefore, minor change can be implemented very easily. This Kaizen principle is based on this minor change. Therefore, this can be easily implemented within the organizations. The next one is 5S. What is 5S? So, I am sure that everyone has gone through the 5S maybe in your school time, maybe in your office environment. It's very popular techniques. Under this 5S, objective is to have a high quality work environment. Here the belief is a place for, there is a place for everything and everything goes in its place. Here we believe, right, there is a place for everything and everything goes in its place. There are 5 principles attached with this. In Japan, Seiri, Seiton, Seizo, Seiketsu and Shizuke, each word start from the S letter, that is why we say 5S. In English also we try to identify similar 5 English words starting from the S letter: short, set in order, shine, standardize and the sustain. Right, we will look at about each principle. What is the first principle? First principle is Seiri. So, under the Seiri principle, what we are trying to do? So, Seiri mean eliminate all unnecessary items. Under Seiri principles, we try to eliminate all unnecessary items from the workplace. Here we try to keep only the essential item and keep them in a place that is easily accessible. If you are involved with this 5S exercise, you may remember the things you have done. Normally what we do is we use this red tag techniques. Under red tag techniques, what we do? So we put a red tag on item which is not essential. Then yellow tag also use for item where we have some doubts, right? The management will decide whether that is required or not. Then later, so normally what we do is we eliminate all these unnecessary items. Selected item by management yellow tag items plus red tag item will be totally destroys. Then only the essential item will be kept under this stage. Right. Then Seiton, so in English it is called set in order. Right. In there what we are trying to do? We are trying to arrange work so that it flow in a logical order. Right. So actually the place for everything and everything goes in its place is more applicable with the Seiton principle actually. Seiton principles, so in there what we are trying to do? We are trying to arrange the work in the right manner. For example, we will say we identify where we want to keep the photocopy machine, right. So then we identify different colors for different files, then easily we can recognize the things, right. Then Seizo principle, Seizo shine. In there what we are trying to do? We are trying to keep the workplace and all equipment clean and tidy and organized. For example, here cleaning work done, washing the floor, then painting the floor, those are example for shining activities. Then Seiketsu, standardize. Here we use uniform procedure so that it is easier for people to change from one task to another. For example, we will prepare some checklist. Then employee can use checklist to identify what are the activities they want to do in a sequential order. You may have seen some in some organization they have applied 5 years in washroom. Sometimes you may have seen this checklist where time has been stated to do this cleaning work. Then people have to come and do the cleaning work. Then supervisor will also come make a signature on that one. That's an example for this Seiketsu activity. Right. Then Shitsuke, that is called sustain. So what is this sustain? Sustain the new standard, make them a way of life. So normally here the objective is to continue the improvement. In other words, to stop back to the old practice. In most of the organization, there are some reward scheme to ensure people continue with the new standard. I know, I remember when I was at the Bank of Ceylon, right, so they had a good scheme under this 5S. Every year they select the best branches, right, who have maintained the 5S. For example, the best 3 branches are selected, then they are given some reward, right. So therefore, branch people have a competition to continue the right 5S environment. That is one of the example for this Shitsuke or sustain principles. Right, with that we can complete 5S, then we can move to the Six Sigma. So what is Six Sigma? Right, so I think there are 2 sigma marks, no? If you have done mathematics, you may remember, right, one is used with the standard deviations, standard deviation mark, sigma mark, then other one, if you remember, other one was used with the summation, no, to the summation, right. Here actually we deal with the standard deviation one, not with the summation mark, right. So what is Six Sigma? So actually Six Sigma was initially used by the Motorola. Motorola is having the trademark of the Six Sigma, but actually General Electric developed Six Sigma further actually. Motorola initiated this concept, but General Electric developed this one further. Right, we will look at about the meaning of Six Sigma approach also. What is Six Sigma? So Six Sigma is an approach to eliminating defects from product and operations and achieving near perfections. This is an approach which is used to eliminate defects from product and operation and achieving near perfections. Under this approach, we are not going to achieve the 100% perfection, we are trying to achieve near perfection. What is near perfection? Near perfection means that there should be no more than 3.4 defects in every 1 million item. Look at that one. Near perfection means there should be no more than 3.4 defects in every 1 million item. This is the level actually identified under 99.99% confidence level. In statistic, in normal distribution, you may have learned that one. So here the objective is to ensure number of defects you are going to have will be less than 3.4 defects for 1 million items. If you have reached that marks, then we say we have reached the Six Sigma status. For an example, organization like Dablawalas, Mumbai Dablawalas, that is one of family organization. You can go to YouTube and watch some video related with the Dablawalas. Their defect rate is less than 1 for 1 million, right. So that indicate they have met the Six Sigma status, right. So we look at about the Six Sigma approach also. The basic objective with Six Sigma is to focus on improvement in processes and reduction in variation from the target standard. Here the objective is to make improvement in the processes and reduction in variation from the target standard. Perfection is achieved by reducing the amount of variation in a process. Normally to carry out a Six Sigma exercise, so normally we establish project team. Project teams are established to achieve the required improvement in processes. The project teams are led by individuals who are specially trained in Six Sigma methods. There are some individuals who have trained in Six Sigma method, who are commonly called master black belts and green belt, according to their level of skills and knowledge of Six Sigma. Right, if you look at about Six Sigma, now here the objective is to meet the near perfection level. In statistic, near perfection mean level we have identified at 99.99 confidence level. So to read this one, you should experience a scenario where less than 3.4 defects for 1 million items. For example, suppose we have a manufacturing process where when we produce good, suppose there are 100 defective items. For 1 million item produced. So we have a manufacturing process where there are 100 defective items for 1 million unit produced. Now if you want to meet the Six Sigma standard, what we have to do is we have to carry out a project, right? In there the objective is to reduce the number of defective item to less than 3.4 defects for 1 million items. How organization do this? Normally they create project teams. If you look at this project team within the organization, right, there may be few Six Sigma project teams going on. Few Six Sigma project going on. There are some master black belts. These master black belts are specialists in Six Sigma exercises. They have been involved in different Six Sigma exercises. They like teachers, right? They are fully involved in the Six Sigma exercises. This master black belt is normally a permanent positions, right? They are at the top of the Six Sigma project, right? They monitor the Six Sigma project going in the organization and give the required guideline for the projects. Then each project is having black belt person lead each project, right? So he is also having some good knowledge about the Six Sigma exercises. He normally act as a leader, right? Then you can identify a green belt person. Green belt persons are the members of the Six Sigma exercises. Normally these green belt position are not permanent, only temporary, right? They are given to work in the project. So after project period they normally go back to their normal work. Normally black belts and master black belts are permanent position. They involved in Six Sigma exercises on permanent basis. Right. So, if you look at about the Six Sigma approaches, Six Sigma approach will differ from making a small improvement to the existing processes and design of a new process or major redesign of an existing process. Approach should be changed. The steps you are going to use when you are trying to make a small improvement and when you are going to have a major improvements, right? Major improvement is similar to new process, no? If you are trying to change the whole things, right, revamp, and you are trying to have a new process, is similar to new process, no? That's why the new process is identified with the major redesign of an existing process. So, we will look at about each one. First of all, we will look at about the incremental improvement in existing processes. Incremental improvement in existing processes. Incremental improvement in existing processes mean small improvement you are going to have with the existing processes. In India, the process we are going to use is called DMAIC, DMAIC, right? So, here there are 5 steps to be used, each one, right, start with different letter. The first step start with D, second step start with M, third step start with A, fourth one I, fifth one C. So, normally what you can do is you can remember this process through a statement. So, what I do is I remember a statement to keep this one within my memory. DMAIC, I remember statement to remember this. Dumb managers always ignore customers. Ignore customers. This statement I remember. Then you can pick the first letter easily. Here D M A I C, right. Then in relation to a new process, we have DMA DV. I remember statement on that also. Here the statement I remember is dumb managers always destroy value, always destroy value. I do a small adjustment, then I remember that dumb managers always destroy value, DMA DV. Right. So, we will look at about the first process, incremental improvement in existing processes, DMAIC. So, we will look at about process. There are 5 steps to be followed. What is the first step? So, define an opportunity is the first step. Here what we are going to do? A serious problem with qualities identified in specific measurable term. Here first of all we identify the quality problems, right. For example, suppose we have a manufacturing process where there are 100 defects for 1 million item produced. That is a serious problem. We first of all identify that one. We define that one. the problem is 100 defects for 1 million unit produced. Within this step, the next thing what we do is a project team is set up to solve the problem. We identify some team members who can involve in a project to increase the quality of this, right. The step number 2, measure performance, that M refer to measure, right, measure performance. Here what we do, we study current process and measure how the process is working and obtain data that can be analyzed to identify what seem to be causing the problem. Main causes are identified. Here we look at about how the process work, then we get some data, analyze those data, and from that we identify the main causes for the problem. For example, there may be few possible causes. You say unskillful workers, employees do not have the required training, or outdated machine use, or inferior raw material use. Like that we will identify some main causes. Then step number 3, analyze opportunity. Analyze opportunity. Here the preliminary ideas about what might be causing the problems are investigated in more details, right. The root cause or causes of the problem is identified. Now here earlier we identified some of the causes of the problem, those are investigated in more details, right. Based on that one we finally identify the best reason for this. For example, we look at actually employment unskill level is the main contributor factor. We analyze that one in details. Then machinery use will be analyzed in details. We look at about the quality of the raw material also in detail. Like that we analyze and finally we identify the exact return contributed on this. For example, say outdated machines we use maybe the contributor factor. Like that we identify that. Then improve performance. Then what we do is causes of the problems are removed by means of redesigning and improving process. Improvement is then designed in detail. It will be tested before the improvement and then implemented. For example, we found that we had a very traditional production system. We completely remove that one. We introduce a new production process with newest technology, right. That may help you to improve the performance. Then step number 5, control performance. New controls are designed and implemented to prevent the problem from returning. Control will include regular measurement of output from the process and a comparison of actual performance with the target. So here after some time we will check whether the problem is actually solved. We will see after implementing after 6 months time, right, we will check the number of defects now. We will say 1 defects for 1 million unit. Now it's clear the problem has been solved now. So we'll time will gradually look at about the process, right. Then designing a new process or a major redesign of an existing process. In there we had used DMADV process. DMADV process, right. Here D mean define, M mean match, A mean analyze, D mean design, then V mean verify, right. So there are 5 steps. We will look at about each one. So what is the first step? Define goal for new process. So if you are going to have a new process, you will identify the goal for that. Here customer expectation should also be considered when goals are defined. For example, let's say I will take banks for example. Say we introduce we'll say deposit machines, right. Then here the objective, what is the goal of the new process we introduce? Here the goal is to, we'll say improve customer satisfactions, right, increase customer satisfactions, that is the goal, right, increase customer satisfactions. Then so match performance requirement with these goals. Then KPI should be developed to enable the goals for the process to be achieved, right. Now ensure that custom deposit process, right, is happening as expected, you identify some KPIs to measure that, right. So, for example, now in the process 1 we have a goal to enhance the customer satisfaction. We can identify a KPI related with that one. For example, the number of minutes taken by customers to make a deposits, right. So, KPI should be developed to enable the goal for the process to be achieved. Then analyze the performance requirement. Now we check to make customer deposit very easy, right. What type of process design we can have for the customer deposits, right. So, preliminary design for a new process is developed after considering the performance requirement, right. Then here actually we look at about different design alternatives. For example, if you look at the cash deposit process, there are different type of machines you can implement. It can be a cash deposit machine only, or you can use cash recycling machine where you can do both deposits and the withdrawal. Like that, you will look at different alternatives you have here, right. Then what you will do is you will evaluate them and identify the best one you can have. Then design and implement the process. Then the preliminary design is developed into more detailed design and the new process is then implemented. If you take a decision, we will say you decide to install that cash deposit machine, then you implement that one in practice. Then verify performance. How do you verify performance? Controls and checks should be introduced to confirm that the required performance targets are met and that the goals are successfully achieved. So, after some time we check whether the expected objective have been fulfilled. For example, we check whether actual time taken by customer to make a deposit has been reduced. As a result, customer has get the required satisfactions, right. This has not been tested in the exam, right. So, in the previous syllabus this was not tested. Then we are moving to the final topic in operation management, project management, right. Project management. In relation to project management, we are going to discuss two topics. In first topic, we are going to discuss project management principles. In the second topic, we are going to discuss project management techniques. Under that, we are going to discuss some time and cost management techniques, right. So, we will have induction first. What is project? If you look at the project, project have a limited duration and are established to achieve a specific purpose within a given cost. If you look at the project, project is carried out to achieve a specific objective. This specific objective should be achieved within the given cost and within the given time periods. So, what are the example of a project? For example, say Central Highway is an example of a project. Then Nugegoda flyover is an example of a project. Then Rajagiri flyover is an example for a project, right. So, how project management can add value? Right, project management can add value by ensuring that projects are completed to specifications within cost and on time. So, objective of project management is ensure the project meet the requirement completed to specification within the cost. Normally, for the project we have allocated a particular cost. If the project is able to complete the project within the given cost, right, then it can give more value. At the same time, on time, very important. So, normally when you start a project, we have identified time period where the project should be completed. If project is completed on time, it can give more value, no? Right. Then we look at about the features of a project. So, what are the features of a project? What are the features of a project? It is established to achieve a specific purpose. Normally, project is established to achieve a specific purpose. For example, look at about this Rajagiri flyover. What is the objective? To ease the traffic, no? Right? Establish to achieve a specific purpose. Then next one, a project team is established consisting of individual from different department and with different skills and experience. a project manager is appointed to lead the team. Based on the nature of the project, we decide the project team. For example, think about ERP project going in an organization. So, ERP project is going to affect the whole department in the organization. Accordingly, we will get people from different department. Then I will appoint a project manager also to carry out the project work. Right. Then during the project manager reports to a project committee. There is a high end committee. Normal top management consists of this project steering committee. Their job is to monitor the project work. Normally project manager report to project steering committee, and accordingly project steering committee manage the progress of the project. Look at this project steering committee consisting of senior management whose responsibility is to monitor the progress of the project. Normally my personal experience is once in a week, right, project steering committee gather, then the project manager go and make a presentation about the progress about the project to the project steering committee, right. Then next one, the project manager is expected to lead the team in completing the project. Project manager normally lead the team, right. When the project is completed, project team is disbanded. So normally project work is completed, the project team is disbanded, right. For example, ERP project, after you have installed the ERP software, then the project team members will go back to their normal department and do their work. There are three main criteria of a project. What are three main criteria of a project? Quality, budget and the time scales. These are three main constraints of a project, right. These are the main expectation of a project. What is quality? Project objective should be achieved at end. If project objective are achieved, then we say quality is ensured in the project. Budget, project should be completed within the given cost. Right. There is another expectation, within the given cost you should complete the project work. Then time scale, then progress of the project must follow the planned process so that the result is ready for use at the agreed date. Right. Project should deliver on the expected date, right. If project time period is delay, right, then the expectations may be also delay, right. Then what are the differences between project and normal operations? Look at about the project. Normal project have beginning and end, right, have a defined beginning and end. For example, say so when we construct a flyover, for example, say we start 2021 and we know we will complete that one in 2023. So we have a defined beginning and the end. But if you look at the operations, it's ongoing. There is no end like that. For example, suppose you are doing bank preparation work. So every month you will prepare the bank reconciliations. No, it's an ongoing activity. Then project, normally project have resources allocated specifically to them, although often on a shared basis. If you look at the project work, normally there are some resources allocated on them. For example, human resources, although often on a shared basis. In project structure is very common to have a matrix structure. You know what is matrix structure? While people are involving in their normal functional activity, they involve in the project work also. Therefore, same resources you use on a shared basis. But in operations, look at the operations. In operation, we use resources in full time. So, for example, if you are working in the finance department, in whole 5 days you are doing the finance work. Then project, normal project are intended to be done only once. Only one time you try to do the project work. After that, project is coming to end. But operations, a mixture of many recurring tasks. But if you look at the operations, there are some recurring activities. Again and again you will do it that. Then project, follow a plan toward a clear intended end result. So you have an objective at the beginning, what you want to achieve from the project. For example, say flyover, objective is to ease the traffic, right. Then operations, goals and deadlines are more general. But if you look at the operations, you can find goals and deadlines, very common. If you are in the finance department, you may have experienced that one. Your deadline to complete the preparation of finance statement, that's very common. Then project, normally project often cut across organizational and functional lines. If you look at the project, most of the project go through different functional areas. For example, ERP project, if you look at the ERP project, it go through all the functional areas in the organizations. Then operations usually follow the organization or functional structure. In operation, normally you have a normal organizational structure or functional structure. Then project life cycle. Under the project life cycle, we are trying to identify the different stages in project. So we are going to identify 6 stages in relation to product life cycle. Right. These stages take place in sequential order. Right. What is the first activity in the project life cycle? Project definition is the first activity in the project life cycle. What is project definition? This is the starting point. First of all, here you identify the requirement for project. So need for a project is identify, a project committee and investigation team are appointed. So probably I have seen many sources to identify project requirement. Sometimes it may be a competitor actions. You hear about a new system implemented by competitor and that has increased the significantly above the efficiency level of the operations. So you hear that one, then based on that one you identify the need for a project. That is one of the example. So here what you do is normally you appoint a project committee and investigation team are appointed. Here the objective of investigation team is to carry out a feasibility analysis and come to conclusion whether the project is worth to continue or not. That is step number 1. Then step number 2 is outline project definition and cost benefit analysis. Here that the investigation team prepare a report including an outline design for the project and estimate of cost and benefit and report to the project committee and they approve it. Here actually we prepare a small report that include the project objectives and which identify the costs you want to spend and time period you are going to have, right. So here so normally you will come up with a small report which identify the main objective of the project, then you will identify the costs associated with the project and the time period you want to spend on the project. You submit this report to the project steering committee. Project steering committee decide whether it should be approved or not. If they approve, then you can move to the next stage. What is the next stage? Stage number 3, project team establish. Right. So here we establish a project team normally which consists of people from different department. Actually we decide the team members based on the nature of the project. Right. The step number 4, detailed project plan. The project team prepare a detailed plan for the project including objective, detailed budget and expected completion date. So the 3 main considerations are detail here, project objectives, then budget. Within the budget you identify different expenditure item you want to spend on that. Then you identify the time period to complete the each stage and the final completion time of the project work also. Then this plan is reviewed and approved by project committee. So project committee approve this one. If they approve, then you can move to the step number 5. What is step number 5? The project work is undertaken. Right. So in there new operation is tested before implementations. Right. So here what you do is you carry out the project work. Then at the end of the project work, before you implement that one, you tested that one also. Right. Testing stage is there. Then the step number 6 is implementations. The project is implemented and the new operation become the responsibility of normal operation managers. Right. So you implement the project in practice. Right. For example, if you have developed IT system, you will implement that one in the organization, then the responsibility of the operations of this IT system will be given to the operation people, right. Then the project team is disbanded, at the end project team is disbanded, right. Then what are the responsibilities of a project manager? There are few responsibilities with project manager. Outline planning. So we have already identified what is outline planning in the life cycle, right. Then detail planning, right, that is also come under responsibility of the project manager. Then then obtain necessary resources within or outside organization. Is having the responsibility to get the required resources internally or externally. Sometimes some of the resource may not be available within the organization. In that scenario, he has to get the resource outside from the environment, outside from the organization environment. Then step number 4, team building. Build cohesion and team spirit in the project team. So normally, if you look at the project team, so often you can find people come from different departments. They may not have worked previously together. Therefore, project manager is having responsibility to develop a good team spirit among them. Sometimes, for example, what I experience is going for lunch, right, going for dinner, some sort of a party. Then people get together. Then with the time, what happen? Automatically bond is right develop. Then step number 5, coordinating project activities. Right, is having the responsibility to coordinate the project activities between project team, external suppliers, the project owner and the end users. For example, if you are going with a software project, you want to deal with different external vendors to acquire the required hardware, then you have to deal with them on time. Otherwise, if the hardware is not delivered on time, you have to deliver the project work also, right. Then monitoring and control. So in there you will compare with plan and take corrective actions. Then problem resolution. There may be some unexpected problem occur. Then project manager want to solve them, right. Then quality controls. Understand and manage quality procedures. Agree and manage any appropriate trade-off of functionality against achieving deadlines. Then next one, competing demand of project objective, cost and time. Normally a project will be successful if it is completed on time within budget and it's achieved its intended objective. But in practice there is often a problem. The project objective may be more difficult to achieve than expected. Tasks may run late so that the expected completion time is differ or actual cost for the project may exceed the budget. These are some of the practical issues you will experience. For example, you may not be able to achieve the objective as it is. Then project time may be delayed, then cost may be exceeded. When you have such problem, what project manager want to do? He want to make compromise between objectives, time and the cost. For example, to ensure the project quality, you may spend more money and you may take more time to complete the project. Right. Then we are moving to the last step of project management. Project management techniques. Normally we can use two type of project management techniques, cost controlling techniques and the time managing techniques. To manage the costs, we can use three techniques: project budget, resource histogram, Gantt chart. To manage the time, we can use critical path method diagram, CPM, or semi-simplified critical path analysis, CPA, or FERT analysis and the Gantt chart. So we are not going to discuss about the project budget in detail here. You know what is project budget. In there, we will compare actual cost with the budgeted cost, right, when project progress. Accordingly, we identify the deviation and take the corrective actions. Right. That is clear for you. Under this project management technique, we are looking about two main considerations in project. One is cost, other one is the time. So these techniques are used to monitor the cost or control the cost. Then time management technique is used to ensure project is delivered on time. So we'll look at about them. So first of all, we'll look at about the resource histogram. What is resource histogram? Resource histogram is a chart or diagram for planning the amount of resources, typically people that will be needed for each week of a project. Right. The resource histogram is a chart or diagram for planning the amount of resources, typical people that is required with the each week or each month of a project. In a resource histogram, with the time we try to identify the resource requirement. For example, say here the time, you see week number 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Suppose this is week. Here we will see number of person we need. See here we will say 5, here 10. We will say first week suppose we need 5 person, second week suppose we need 10 person, third week suppose we need 7 person, fourth week suppose we need only 3 person, right. So in the resource diagram we identify the resource requirement with the time. Suppose there are 5 former members in the project, then the project manager know that week number 2 we need additional 5 people than the people we have, then accordingly he can plan for that. Similarly, he know in week number 3 he need additional 2 person, then week number 4 he know that there are 2 additional people, then he can release that 2 additional people for some other work. Then critical path method, CPM. What is critical path method? The same is identified as network diagram also, network analysis also. Right. Look at this critical path method. The critical path method is a technique for planning the completion of a project within the scheduled time. This is a technique which is used to plan the completion of a project within the scheduled time. This can also use for monitoring actual progress against the plan. So here the objective is to monitor the time of the project. It is possible to calculate the minimum time in which the project can be completed and the task that should be started and finished as soon as possible in order to complete the project in this minimum time period. The sequence of tasks that must be started and finished at the earliest possible time is known as the critical path for the project. I am sure that you may have learned this one in previous subject or subject like MA. Here if you look at about project, in a project we can identify some activities. For example, suppose we have a project where there are 4 activities called A, B, C, D. We will say time period for each activity, say weeks, A1, B2, C1, D1. We will identify precedent activities also, precedent activities. You know what is precedent activities? That should be completed to start the other activity, right. A, suppose there is no precedent activity. B, suppose A, suppose C also A, D, B and C, right. So if you look at about this simple project activity, we can use CPM method to put them into a diagram, right. If I try to draw a diagram for this, right, diagram, right, here right. Look at here A, right, here how many take, it's take 1 week, say A, take here A, take 1 week, then B. Now here look at the relationship, I draw the network by identify the relationship. Now B commences after A is completed. Now if you look at about this one here, we will say B, here it take 2 weeks, C also commences from the A, here C, then here D 1 week. So when B and C both are completed, then we can have the D activities. If you look at about this simple network, right, there are 2 paths here, A, B, D, other one is A, C, D. Look at the first path, what is the time period it take? A 1 week, B 2 weeks, D 1 week. So altogether 4 weeks should be spent. Then ACD 1 week, 1 week, 1 week, 3 weeks. Now what is critical path? Critical path is the longest path. Here ABD is the critical path, right? ABD is the critical path. If you look at about this, actually there is a sack item also. If you look at the C, right? C, there is a sack period, right? So C is having a sack of 1 week in relation to C. Here why C is having 1 week of sack period? Now to commence the D, both B and C should be completed, no? Therefore, right, B take 2 weeks. Now here it will take 3 weeks to commence the D. But here, so in between A and D, he is having 2 weeks, but it will only spend only 1 week for the work. Therefore, C is having 1 sack period, right? So he can take 2 weeks instead of spending 1 week, or he can right, wait 1 week and then start the work. Right, this is a very time consuming exercise. I hope that you got the right meaning within short period of time, but go for further studies on this. Right, so it's clear in the critical path there are no sack time. Right, for other tasks which are non-critical, we can calculate the amount of sack time. This is the amount of delay that can be allowed before the task started, or the extra time that can be taken to complete the task. You can delay or you can take additional time on sacked activities. Logical sequence of starting and completion task can be shown in a critical path diagram. So I show that one in the diagrams. Then PERT analysis, right, as another technique you can use. PERT analysis, project evaluation and review techniques. What is this project evaluation and review technique? Is similar to the CPM method, except that it allows for some uncertain expected completion time for each task in the project. Now here actually some uncertainties right allow. For example, in this example I have explained, I assume that A take 1 week, but in practice very difficult to judge 1 week, no. There may be few scenarios. There may be pessimistic time period expected, optimistic time period expected, or there may be likely time period. For example, pessimistic time may be we'll say 3 weeks, right? Optimistic time may be 1 week, then most likely time period will be 2 weeks, right? Here actually we use some formula, and through that formula we identify the time period for each activity, right? So typically there is a most likely completion time, a shortest expected time and longest expected time for each task. I give example, likely completion time is 2 weeks, shortest expected time is 1 week, then longest expected time is 3 weeks. This allows the project manager to analyze some of the uncertainty about estimated completion time when these cannot be estimated with confidence. So we don't want to have this calculation knowledge on here, actually just to know that this help you to take the uncertainty. That's enough for you. You will learn this tool in detail in MA subject, Right. Then we are moving to the final one, Gantt chart. So what is Gantt chart? Right. So a Gantt chart is a horizontal bar chart used to plan the time scale for a project and to estimate the resources required. This is a horizontal bar chart used to plan the time scale for a project and estimate the resource required. The Gantt chart display the time relationship between a task in a project. Two lines are for each task to show. Look at the Gantt chart. Normally within Gantt chart we show two things. Plan time allocated for each task, then the actual time taken for each task. Accordingly, when the project progress, we can identify some delay activities. Accordingly, we can take the action on that. Right. For example, here we'll say activity will say A. Activity A. See here we identify. Say suppose this is a activity A. We plan to have the activity within right 5 days. Say 5 days. Suppose then when we have done the actual activity, we identify how many days we have taken. We say for example we have actually taken 6 days, right. Then we can identify the difference. We will say activity B. Activity B, say we have planned to commence the activity B here to go to up to 10. Now this is the way we have planned, right. Then in the Gantt chart, actually what we do is we will say now at the end of 6 weeks, now we have identified that there is a delay. Now here we will expedite this activity. We may take additional resources and finish the activity within 4 days. Again, project is in line with the time requirement. Here we show right planned time allocated for each task and the actual time taken is also shown while we are doing the activities. Right. With that, we can complete the operation management part also.